Could it be? But me, your man, Louie T, welcome to Sunday Night Football Overtime. Seahawks, Cardinals, NFC West family business. If these teams say they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, that's family business. And you know how the family do it. Man, this was a good game. And then there was one undefeated team left in the National Football League. As the Arizona Cardinals knock the Seattle Seahawks from the ranks of the unbeaten 37-34 in overtime. What a football game this was. Thoroughly enjoyed this. Before we get to the breakdown of this game, and I got a lot to say about this game in particular, got a couple of things I want to get off my chest. Number one, I want to introduce you to my friend. This is Pink Panther, one of my specialty drinks that I make. And it's late night lit Louie. So this is going to be a fun show. Washington got their first win in 6 weeks. And I was celebrating. Secondly, I was going to save this for the podcast tomorrow, but I'm so pissed. Let's do it now. I could have been undefeated today, heading into Monday night. I picked my ass off this week, and I'm not happy about the results. I picked Arizona tonight. Boy, those bastards tried to throw it away. Boy, they tried to give it back to Russ and company, but they got it done. Check. I went out on a limb. I said, why am I picking Atlanta's stinking ass again? Why? All they had to do was fall at the 1 yard line, and when you're 1 and now 6, you can't even get that shit right. They tried to let you score. All you had to do was fall at the 1 and kick a walk-off field goal. How dare I rely on the stinking ass Atlanta Falcons for any goddamn thing? And then the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not even so mad at them like I am Atlanta, because Atlanta's a veteran team. And you know what? They had to lose from wearing those stinking ass jerseys today. And I told you, we don't do that shit in the NFL. Those red that bleed down into the black. Yeah. They wore those stinking ass shits. At least the end zone looked nice. It looked clean. That's why they won in 6 now, because of them stinking ass jerseys. Anyway, I'm not even mad at Cincinnati. They're a young team. Young teams make stupid mistakes. They had no business losing that game in regulation. If they lost it in overtime, fine. Baker takes them down and they get a field goal and they go to overtime, fine. To lose that game in regulation? Seriously? I should be perfect right now. Instead, I got 2 losses. I'm not going to complain, because it could be worse. I could probably be you. Because I know you lost more than 2 games today. Yep, some of you picked New England. Some of you picked the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I know you did. Some of you picked Jacksonville. Most of you picked Seattle. It could be worse. But I digress. Let's get to this game tonight, because this was fabulous. God damn it, this was a good game. Why? Look, just put Seattle on primetime every single week. I'd sign up for it, because every time they're on primetime, we get a whale of a ball game. Don't you agree? Seriously, don't you agree? Man, anyway, let's start with the winners. To the victors go the spoils, right? Right. Arizona is a team that is really fascinating to me. I'm a massive Cliff Kingsbury fan. You know that, because I told anybody before everybody was on the Cliff Kingsbury train, when everybody was saying this is a terrible hire, that this is a great hire. Love this guy. Thought he did a phenomenal job at Texas Tech, despite the losing record. That's all anybody wanted to talk about. I said, have you seen the defenses at Texas Tech? Because if you haven't, then you don't understand why this man is under 500. They would score 60 and the defense would give up 73. I said, it's not about Cliff Kingsbury's ability to coach it up offensively. He'll find somebody in the NFL and he'll just say, hey, you take the defense. I won't even get in your meetings. I won't even get in your way. You do the defense thing, I'll just worry about the offense. And I knew he wouldn't have any problems, especially when I found out, oh shit, he's getting Kyler Murray. Murray was outstanding after that performance. And you know what was crazy on Monday, and we talked about this on the Overtime Show. He was terrible throwing the football on Monday. He was horrendous. He was like 9 of 24. He was funky. Him and his receivers were out of sync. We talked about that on Monday. Like, if it were not for his legs and the dominance of the defense and the run game and a couple of big plays, that offense was not humming, and he was not in sync with his guys. He was awful. But he did have his legs. The defense was dominant, and there were big plays, and they won going away. So tonight was the polar opposite. He was outstanding with his arm. My goodness. Now, except for that one throw, don't ask me what the hell that was. That throw right after Patrick Peterson's interception. Don't know what that was. Just like I don't know what the hell Russ was doing on that throw right there on the interception. The last of 3. Yes, 3 Russell Wilson interceptions in this game. When's the last time Russ has done that in a game? 3 interceptions. Isaiah Simmons with the big play. It's funny, my man JP asked me about Isaiah Simmons. Said, I haven't heard his name. Where is he at? I said, hasn't been playing well early in this season, man. They had to put him away. Don't worry, the young fellow will be fine. He's adjusting to a new position. He'll be okay. But they had to put him away for a little while. He wasn't ready for the league yet. This is big boy status. This is no longer the ACC. Not playing Wake Forest. All right. Not getting a freebie versus NC State this week. All right. Everybody can run. Just because you're a 4.37 guy, nobody's afraid of you. Everybody can run up here, up in this league. So he had to find that out the hard way. So they sat his ass down, made a big play. But who the hell was Russ throwing that to? Did you watch the replay on that? I'm like, yo, Russ. Question. Who is that for? Exactly, because everybody I saw wearing a gray jersey was running that way. And that ball was not close. If he didn't pick it off, there was a safety running up with his hands down below him trying to pick it off. If he didn't pick it off, that thing was going to hit the ground. I don't know who the hell he was throwing it to. Doesn't matter. Great play by Isaiah Simmons. Helped set him up. Murray was outstanding, though. He was outstanding in this game. I told y'all that I love Chase Edmonds. I told you guys that like a month ago. I love Chase Edmonds. This guy is so good. And you saw it again tonight. Like, they've got some really quality backs. You know, Kenyon Drake is a perfect fit for their offense. He goes down late in this ball game. Chase Edmonds steps up, and he was already playing well before the injury. But once it became the Chase Edmonds show, you heard Chris Collinsworth say, hey, I just feed Chase Edmonds. Why the hell not? He was catching it. He was running it. They couldn't stop him. They had no answers for him. He was outstanding in this game. The defense, they're going to have to find ways, like they did late in this game, to manufacture pressure without Chandler Jones, because I don't know if they consistently have a guy that can hit home on a 3-4 man rush without Chandler Jones in the lineup. That's a huge loss for them. They're going to have to find ways to create pressure like they did late in this ball game. And that was a magnificent job late in this game of manufacturing pressure, because Russ had all day in this game. And, you know, to really say at the end of the game, okay, enough's enough, game's on the line, let's turn it up and get after this guy and force the issue, I thought it was brilliance on the part of Arizona and their defensive coordinator. And so you look at how they were able to keep themselves, because I thought once they gave up the touchdown, first of all, that's a hell of a throw by Russ. We'll talk about that in a second. Once they fell down 34-24, I thought the game was over. You know, right around 7 minutes to go in the game or so, 6 minutes and some change. That's a crazy throw, an even better catch. And I'm thinking, there's no way you're getting 2 scores in that situation, which takes me back to my original point, which was, why the hell didn't you kick the field goal after the Buda Baker interception? Buda, ha, 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 we kicking them, Buda. Why didn't you kick the field goal after the Buda interception? I didn't understand it. I needed answers. Because it's not like it was 4th and inches or 4th and 1. It was like a 4th and 2 or 3. What are you doing? Take the damn points. That's a momentous play. You don't give them back the momentum because if they stop you, they feel like they just won something. And damn sure enough, they took that football and raced right down the field and got points. That was dumb. It's like a 10-point swing. What are you doing? It went from a potential 14-point or 10-point swing in your favor to the polar opposite, to a 10-point swing in their favor because you took a field goal off the board and they immediately raced down the field and got a touchdown out of it. What are you doing? And I said, if you lose by 3, that's the player everybody's going to point to. Everybody's going to look back on and say, hey, Cliff, bruh, seriously, what are we doing right now? What was that about? Didn't understand it then. I don't understand it now, but you got away with it. You lived to tell about it. This defense stepped up, though, late when they had to have it. And I didn't think they could, especially after the missed field goal by their field goal kicker right in overtime. I thought that they were going to lose at that point. As a matter of fact, I was putting the finishing touches on the graphics for this, and I'd put Seattle 37, Arizona 34, and I was just waiting for Russ's final stats so I could save it and upload it because I thought they had lost the game at that point. And I love their kicker. You know, I loved him ever since Arizona State. I said, this guy is going to be a hell of a kicker in this league, in Gonzalez. And after he missed that kick, I said, shit, they lost it. I was pissed for one because of me. I picked Arizona. So I wanted this one bad. So I'm like, not only did you blow this, but now Seattle's going to remain undefeated and they're going to run away with this division. But the defense stepped back on the field and got another stop. I did not think they were going to give Zane Gonzalez another shot. I didn't. I thought they had lost this game, and, you know, there's going to be enough blame to go around. What was Cliff Kingsbury doing on that decision not to kick the field goal? What was Kyler Murray thinking on that interception? How did he miss so badly? And Zane Gonzalez, how did you miss that kick? It would have been enough blame to go around. Instead, the defense stepped up one final time and said, look, we don't have any more bullets in the gun. This is it. They get the pick. I don't have nothing left. If you miss this kick and they get the ball back with 20 seconds and a timeout, you're dead. I can't save you again. I said, you better make this goddamn kick, Zane. And he did. And I went home a happy man. I was stoked. As stoked as a guy not a fan of either team could be. And so this was a big win for Arizona. It gives them, look at the records. Look at the screen. They're right back in this race. And they beat the team that's ahead of them. Worst case scenario, they get a season split with Seattle now. This is a big, big win. And now everybody else in this division is like, thank you, Arizona. Because now everybody's got a shot. Even the 4-3 49ers are sitting down in last place saying, hey, we got a shot, man. We are not dead. After our last 2 performances, we are not dead. And we like where we sit, and we'll be just fine. Get some of these guys back off of IR, and we'll be just fine. You look at the Rams, and they're saying, hey, let's see what we do tomorrow night, but we like our chances too. They got a chance to move to 5-2 on the season with a win and right there tied for second place. This division just got real tight with one kick tonight by Zane Gonzalez. This shit just got really interesting because if Seattle wins this game, go to 6-0, they've just distanced themselves from everybody in this division, especially if the Rams, who I don't think is going to win tomorrow, especially if they don't get it done tomorrow, they would have just separated themselves from the entire division. Instead, everything got a lot tighter. And you can thank the Arizona Cardinals. And I thought this was a well-called game offensively by Cliff Kingsbury. Thought it was just the right amount of run, right amount of deep shots. This is a Seattle Seahawks defense that is prone to giving up deep shots down the field. Take your shots. And they did. They took their fair share of shots down the field. Murray missed one to D-Hop down the field, but he also hit one to Christian Kirk, or no, not Kirk. He hit one to D-Hop down the field for a touchdown early in his ball game. And, you know, they got chunk plays. Dan Arnold had a big catch and run. They got their fair share of chunk plays in this game. Thought it was a well-called ball game. Even when you were down and you had the commentators, that was a big penalty, too, by Seattle. I mean, because if you settle for the field goal there, down 7, which is what would have ultimately happened because you had already made the field goal, the points were on the scoreboard, and You were going to be down 7 with 2 minutes and about 47 seconds left, 3 timeouts left in the game. Tough to see you getting the ball back and having to drive the length of the field and seeing you get in the end zone. Really tough to see that happening, especially after Seattle got that first down. And you would have had no timeouts left. And you would have had less than a minute left. I just don't see you getting back down there with no timeouts, needing a touchdown and scoring. But to have that leveraging penalty, then the key was score before the 2-minute warning, which you did. Great job by Christian Kirk of catching that and getting into the end zone. And it set you up to where when Russell Wilson slid down 1 yard short, which was genius by him. I don't think he meant to do that, but that was perfect. You don't want to get the first down. You want to slide, and because it sets you up with a short situation to pick up a first down, and now they're going to run that clock out, and now you got to burn all 3 of your timeouts. And even if you call all 3 of your timeouts, and we run it 3 times, which Seattle did, you still can't call the timeout on that final down, on 3rd down. And so we're going to bleed it all the way under a minute. But because you got that touchdown, now you only needed a field goal. And I thought you ran that 2-minute drill with no timeouts, under a minute, beautifully. I even love the fact that you ran it a couple of times in there. There was no panic. It was well executed. Had a Kyler Murray draw in there, had a Chase Edmonds run in there. That was gorgeous. Maybe the Kyler Murray run was in overtime. Either way, it was awesomely executed. You deserved to win this game, even though you never led until the final gun. You never led in this game until you made the field goal to give you the win. But you deserve, you fought, you scratched, you clawed, you hung in there. This game could have gotten out of control several times. And you hung tough. You gave yourself a chance. That's a big win, man. Big effing win by the Arizona Cardinals. For Seattle, this feels like one that got away. Opportunity after opportunity after opportunity slipped through your fingers in this game. That interception thrown by Russ, that was a bad throw. It was. You know, they kept talking about the moon ball. Well, that was a moon ball that you didn't want to throw at that moment. And Budda Baker stepped in front of it and picked it up. You throw that one on a rope, it's a touchdown. You threw it in a loft job, and he gave Budda Baker just the time he needed to step in front of it and pick it up. That was points. Whether you settled for a field goal, that was points. The Russell Wilson interception he threw to Pat Peterson, that was more likely going to result in at least a field goal attempt, if not a touchdown. It's a poor throw and a bad interception there. That took another scoring opportunity off the scoreboard. Keep in mind, Seattle had 27 points at halftime. They scored a measly 7 points in a little over 2.5 quarters. This defense for Arizona stepped up, but Seattle made a bunch of mistakes. How about the holding penalty on David Moore? He didn't need to do that. No, DK might not have scored. Maybe that Peterson corner pushes him out of bounds. Guess what? Still a first down. Still a first down. Don't do that. So, a lot of mistakes made by Seattle. Ton of mistakes. The final dagger was the pick thrown, because at least if Russ doesn't throw that pick, that's 3rd down, you punt it. They got to go the length of the field, 1 timeout, and a minute left or so. Maybe a little bit under a minute. With 1 timeout left. That pick put them in perfect field position, where all they had to do was take their time. I don't know why Trey Flowers was playing 80 yards off, but he gave up a quick 12 yards out of bounds, stopped the clock. And then they were able to run it with Chase Edmonds, and they got right in the field goal range. Because that pick put them right in a position where they didn't have to do much. Just needed a good 25 yards or so, and they got that with ease. Got in the field goal range. Too many mistakes made by Seattle in this game. And even with that said, they were in a position to win this game if they could have gotten 1 stop at the very end of this game. Picked up 1 first down, or gotten 1 stop. One or the other. You pick. At the end of regulation, you could have won this game. Even with all the mistakes made, even with every opportunity to put Arizona away, even though you were up double digits with 6 minutes left in this ball game, you had every opportunity to win this game, and you just couldn't do one or two things. Get a first down, late in the ball game to put it away. Another first down after you had gotten the first one. Or get a stop defensively. One or the other. Do one or the other. You did neither. This game goes to overtime. You got the ball first. You had an opportunity. See, Arizona gave you another opportunity. You blew that too. And so, tough loss. But here's the problem, and we've talked about this. Seattle has been on primetime television 97 times already. So we've talked about this ad nauseum, so I don't even feel like I need to talk about this anymore. But I'm going to say it once more, and then we're going to get to your super chats and your comments. You got no pass rush. Kyler Murray was building, both teams, honestly, Murray and Wilson were building houses back there behind center. Literally, they had enough to build a whole log cabin out in the Poconos somewhere, go fishing, come back, add on to the house, and then throw the football. It was that porous on both ends. Let me ask Arizona fans out there, if you're out there, where the hell is the white dude from Monday that had a couple of sacks the week before versus the Jets and then pressured Andy Dalton and sacked him? I think you might have even gotten a safety out of it. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Where the hell is the white guy with the long hair that got the sacks? Where the hell was he at tonight? I'm asking for a friend. Where was the white dude that was getting pressure on Monday and the week before that versus the Jets? Why wasn't he getting any run? I need answers because none of those dudes you were putting up there was getting any pressure by themselves. The only pressure you were able to conjure up tonight was when you decided to send the house late in the ball game. Where was the white dude at? I need answers. Anyway, I digress. 37-34 win for Arizona. What a win. Let's get to your comments. All right. Got a super chat. This first one is from Lurks of Orthanic. Thank you for the super chat, Lurks of Orthanic. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, late night lit Louie returns. I digress. Yes. And I'm blessed to digress. Thank you, Lurks of Orthanic. Greatly appreciate you. I'm back like cooked crack. Let's see. 61 Livy. What's going on? 61 Livy writes, first of all, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who else could it be? What a game. Not sure what the hell Russ was throwing at on that last pick, but I digress. Yes, I digress. I don't know what the hell he was doing either. Great question, 61 Livy. I said the same thing. Who the hell was he throwing to? There must have been a miscommunication there because all his receivers were going up the field. There was no one. There was literally 5 black jerseys around that football, not a single gray jersey in sight. Don't know who that was intended for or what he thought they were going to do, but whatever he thought was happening did not happen on that play. I digress. Thank you for the super chat, 61 Livy. Also, 61 Livy. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, 61 Livy. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Kingsbury almost cost them the game by kicking on second down. You get as many yards as you can. You definitely don't kick on second down. I didn't. So they lost the yards on first down. I wasn't a fan on kicking on second either. I don't have a problem with kicking on third in case you have a muff snap or something like that. You can, reset, kick it again on fourth down. But kicking it on second, you kick it on second down when you're at the, 6-yard line and you're like, okay, to hell with all the chicanery. Let's get this thing over with now. I don't want anything stupid to happen. I think in his mind, he was thinking, we just lost 5 yards. If we get a stupid holding penalty or something crazy happens, we'll be back even further, slightly, in field goal range, but kind of on the cusp of not being where we want to be. Let's just go ahead and kick it now. He's been money tonight. He hadn't missed up until that point. So they were thinking, we're good. We're right in his wheelhouse. Let's get this thing done and get out of here before something crazy happens. I knew where he was coming from, but I like you. Hey, let's get this to third down. Well, we just lost 5. Let's get those 5 back, and then let's kick it. So, I would have asked Zane Gonzalez, hey, where you want the ball at? What hash? Down the middle, left, right? Where you want it at? Talk to me. He says, hey, coach, I'm comfortable on this left hash, which is where I think he was at his best tonight, or is on that left hash. The ball would tail back towards the left, but it would stay right inside that upright. So if he says, hey, coach, put me on that left upright, I'm good. All right, cool. I'm running a draw to Chase, which was gutting Seattle. I'm going to run a Chase Edmonds draw play to the left, and I'm going to get 5-6 yards, and then I'll kick that field goal. But he did what he did, and it almost backfired, as you said, but it didn't. They got away with one, and they end up getting the win. Thank you for the super chat, 61 Levy. Got another one from Lurts of Authentic. Thank you for the super chat, Lurts of Authentic, and thank you for doubling up. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Lurts of Authentic says, Lockett divine tonight. 200 receiving yards. Beast. Yes. I've always talked about Tyler Lockett being one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. You know, the in vogue thing now is to talk about DK Metcalf, and rightfully so. He's a monster. He's an animal. You know, this guy's a freak of nature. But quietly, you know, even when they used to have Doug Baldwin, the Angry Bird, nobody would talk about Lockett. Everybody would talk about Doug Baldwin. And, you know, Doug Baldwin never really got the respect he deserved. But Lockett was always on the back burner. And then they get DK Metcalf, and Lockett's back on the back burner again. And then when he got the big contract, you know, just a few months ago, people were like, what? Tyler Lockett getting all this money for what? And I'm like, you must not be paying attention to what Tyler Lockett brings to the table. And don't forget, when he needs to be, Tyler Lockett is also a dynamic return man as well. Okay? So Lockett, to me, is one of those guys who just doesn't get the credit he rightfully deserves in this league. And you saw it again tonight. He was cooking Patrick Peterson's ass, to which I had to tweet the cornerback position. And we know this. I've said this millions of times. I'll continue to say it. The cornerback position is no country for old men. When you start getting up there, and Pat Pete isn't like super duper old, but he's lost a step. He isn't the elite corner he used to be. He's still damn good. That's the good thing about elite corners usually, is when you're elite and you have top end speed and you lose a step, your step that you lost, you're still faster than 90% of the corners in the league, and you're still better than 95% of the corners in the league, which he is. But he's no longer that guy you just say, hey, Pat Pete, lock up that side of the field. We good. We'll let Drake Kirkpatrick handle the other side. And if we need to shade over on the side with help with the safety, we'll shade over the Drake Kirkpatrick side. You good over there, right? Yeah. I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm straight. No, the hell you ain't. No, the hell you are not. Okay? I watched Terry McLaurin cook his ass a couple of times this year. One for a touchdown. Easily could have had him on a deep ball that he didn't catch down the sidelines, but he was open. And if Dwayne would have put it out in front of him, I think he might have had a walk-in 80-yard touchdown. But whatever. Tyler Lockett, and it wasn't bad coverage. It really wasn't. He was right there both times. But as a wise man once told me back in like Madden 2004, you can't defend a perfect pass. You see it, but you still can't stop it. It ain't nothing you can do about it, man. When a guy puts it right where it needs to be, I don't give a shit how good your defense is. You can't stop it. Or as a wise man once told me, you can't stop the rain when it starts to pour. You can't stop the rain, boy. You cannot stop that perfect pass when that shit comes down like a raindrop. Boop! You can't stop the rain, man. Anyway, Lords of Authentic, you're right. Lockett was divine tonight. Thank you for doubling up. Got another super chat here from Cloud. Thank you for the super chat, Cloud. Greatly appreciate you. Cloud writes, every time I see Metcalf make a play, I just want to throw Howie off a cliff. Good game, though. You know, I don't know how you felt about Metcalf coming out of Ole Miss. There was a lot of people, including me, and I've already offered up the 00. I did a whole video last year after like 5 or 6 weeks declaring that I was wrong about DK. I know when I'm wrong, and I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. I tell you that all the time, because when I'm right, God damn it, you're going to know I'm right. I'm going to tell you. I'll be the first to tell you when I'm right. So when I'm wrong, I'll also be the first to tell you I was wrong. I was wrong on DK Metcalf. And I said, you know what also made it a lot easier for him to transition into the league was the team that selected him. It's a perfect fit for him. I mean, last year, Seattle said, hey, you stand over here or you run deep. We'll just get it to you. Don't worry about it. Russell will go off schedule. We'll get you the route. Now he's starting to turn into a route runner and do all of the little things and the finer, points of the game, the nuances and subtleties of the receiver position. And they allowed him to learn that with time, whereas he would have gotten somewhere else. He would have landed with another team in this league. He would have been expected to come in and learn the route tree and this, that, and the third, and he wouldn't have adjusted as seamlessly as he has. Seattle's the perfect place for him. Perfect place for him. Couldn't have found another home for him better in this league. That said, I don't know how you felt about him, but a lot of people didn't think he was worthy of a first-round pick. And, a lot of people didn't I thought he was worthy of a second-round pick. I didn't think he was worthy of an upper-tier second-round pick, though. Like mid to late second. And he ended up going damn near in the third, late second. Seattle, I think, got him at like the 63rd pick or something like that. So he lasted a lot longer than I thought he was going to. I thought all it takes is one. Remember John Ross and how speed usually captivates people? Remember, if you're a Vikings fan out there, remember Williamson? The stinking-ass receiver from South Carolina? Like, speed captivates. So, remember Chad Jackson? New England picks him first round. Like, speed captivates. It can hornswoggle you. It can make your vision and your thought process cloudy and your judgment a little off. And so I thought just the size and the speed and all of that was going to make somebody jump and bite. And nobody did. And I was shocked. But it turned out for the best for him. It really did, because to me, he's on the perfect team. He would have made a perfect Philadelphia Eagle, though. It wouldn't have been a better fit than in Seattle. But with Wentz's escapability and his ability to extend the play and go off schedule, and with Wentz's penchant for throwing it down the field, DK would have been in heaven in Philadelphia. For sure. Thank you for the super chat, Cloud. Got another super chat here from GearCell1. Thank you for the super chat. GearCell1, who writes, Russell played like he was wearing flannel drawers. Tragic. He doesn't usually play like he's wearing flannel drawers. But he said his boys needed to breathe tonight. And flannel drawers, they'll get you some extra air down there that you may not have asked for. And so if we put the flannel drawers on, maybe caught a couple of little drafts. Next thing you know, he's thrown 3 picks. Shit happens when you got flannel drawers on. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Yeah. Had another one here from 61 Livy. Thank you for tripling up. 61 Livy, greatly appreciate you as always. Who writes, can we talk about Metcalf running down Baker? Holy cow, he's got a stride like T.O. That being said, Metcalf needs to do more than just 2 for 23. All right, let's take that in pieces. Let's break that one down. You have his stride down to a science, because he looks like T.O. when he runs. That big, open, long stride that eats up a ton of grass. Absolutely T.O. You nailed it. Money. Threw a dart, hit it right on the bullseye. So that's a perfect comparison there. That being said, he needs to do more than 2 for 23. Look, they put Patrick Peterson on him most of the night. When he didn't have Patrick Peterson on him, okay, let me rewind. Tyler Lockett had 15 catches for 200 yards tonight. So I don't know what more you want Russell to do, but they spread the ball around. They got Hollister involved. They got Greg Olsen, involved. They got David Moore involved. Like, you're spreading the rock around. DJ Dallas got to catch a 2. So when one guy has 200 yards receiving, and then you spread it around to another 6 or 7 guys, there's not a lot of balls for DK Metcalf. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. And I understand. He's a big-time wide receiver. 2 for 23 is not what you do when you're elite in this league. I'm aware. But when the other guy is cooking, like Tyler Lockett was tonight, you just keep feeding a hot hand. Feed a hot hand. He had 3 touchdowns, did Tyler Lockett. 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. You just keep feeding that man. You want something else to eat, Tyler? I got a hoagie over here. You want something else? I got a meatball sub. You want something else? I got a slice of pizza. You want something else? I got a Philly steak cheese sub over here. What else? What else do you need? If he's eating like that, you feed him. So I'm not mad that he only had 2 for 23. Because Russ was just going to the guy that was open. Maybe he wasn't open tonight. Maybe he was, and Russ wasn't looking his way. But to me, it's all good because he's not even their leading receiver. That's what a lot of you fail to realize is Tyler Lockett. DK is the guy that's going to attract the attention, and rightfully so. Again, he's 6'4", 230 pounds, and he runs a 4.3. So he's a freak. He's a machine. Meanwhile, Tyler Lockett is over here getting 15 for 200 and 3 touchdowns. So 2 for 23, it's unbecoming of a number 1. I understand that. But some nights, the other guys got it. And if this dude is on pace for 50 on 14 of 21 shooting, I'm going to just keep feeding him the ball and get the hell out of the way. If he's already hit a record 9 3-pointers in the first half, I'm going to just keep feeding him the rock. I'm going to get the hell out of the way. That's what tonight was. It's not an indictment on him. Just say that. 61 Livy, appreciate you again. Thank you for the super chat. 61 Livy writes, also, can we talk about the Patriots getting slammed today? My Bills struggled with some family business, but ended up allowing 4 yards in the second half. I watched that game already, as a matter of fact. So we can talk about both of those games real quick. Because I watched the Patriots game too already. So, I knew the Patriots were going to lose today. I did not expect them to get their teeth kicked down their throats the way that it did. I did not expect Cam Newton to throw 3 interceptions. I did not expect the 49ers to run it down their throats. I did not expect Jeff Wilson to go bananas and ape shit all over their defense before hurting himself. I didn't expect the 49ers to drub them and force Cam Newton to the bench midway through the fourth quarter, early stages of the fourth quarter. That was dominant. But I told you I don't believe in the Patriots. I told you I thought they were a 500 team this year and that they would miss the postseason. I said all of those things. I slightly started to walk back. I started moonwalking after week 2 versus Seattle before we knew Seattle's defense was trash. I didn't know. As soon as I found out Seattle's defense was hot garbage, I was like, whoa. New England's offense is still trash. They're still throwing to Gunnar Olszewski. They're still throwing to all these bums off the practice squad, and Edelman hasn't had a touchdown in a 100-yard game since that Seattle game. And N'Keal Harry has been really inconsistent. Got hurt again today. They have nothing out there. If they don't run it, they got nothing. They got nothing. So I wasn't surprised that they lost. I was surprised the way that they lost. They looked out-coached. They looked outmanned. And they looked like a team that was suffering from Tom Brady withdrawals. Like, we don't know what to do. We don't have time. And look, remember, they had the most guys opt out due to COVID. But not all of those guys were key contributors. Look, Dante Hightower is a massive contributor. So is Patrick Chung. Like, they have nobody to cover the tight ends. That's what Patrick Chung did for them. They got nobody roaming the middle of the field. They got nobody being their leader of their defense. That's what Dante Hightower was for them. No excuses, though. Nobody cares. They stink right now. They're 2-4. They stink. They haven't been 2-4 since 2000. They couldn't stop Jeff Wilson, who's like the 92nd running back on the 49ers depth chart. Doesn't matter, though. Kyle, anybody, they can plug in anybody and have them rush for 100 yards. So that shouldn't be surprising to any of you. It's not to me. And then Jets-Bills. Watch that game. Was shocked at how, first of all, I thought it was a total sign of disrespect by Buffalo that they sat so many dudes today. And I get it. Guys are injured. And you looked at the Jets and said, hey, look, if there's ever a time to sit a bunch of guys and feel like we can still get away with one, it's this week. I can't tell you the last time. So, you know, when I sat down, I knew what the score was before I watched the game, 18-10. I'm like, okay. And I saw how you got your first couple of points in the game. When you got to 12, I said, okay, they scored a touchdown and they missed the extra point. Because, you know, your kicker, Bass, he's a little sketchy. You know, he's been real iffy. He's been up and down. Some games he's got it. Some games he doesn't. He'll miss an extra point. He'll miss a field goal. He missed a field goal in this game. So I said, what happened was they got 4 field goals and then they hit a touchdown late and then boom, missed the extra point, 18. Left the door slightly ajar, but they closed it shut. They won the game 18-10. Nah, that ain't what happened. These boys ain't sniffed the end zone the entire game. What? You field goaled them to death? 6 of them boys? Yeah, man, they hit 6 field goals. Oh, my God. The Jets are so stinky. You hit 6 field goals and beat those boys 18-10. The Jets are so bad. Oh my God. And I said, man, it was 10-0. You probably were shitting your pants at that point. Like, wait a minute, what are we doing? And it's family business. You know how it goes. Like, I said, if the Jets are going to sneak somebody this year, it's going to be in a division. They're not beating anybody outside the division. I did come away from this game, however, saying, hey, Sam Darnold is not a lost cause. For anybody out there that is looking for a quarterback, you don't want to spend a first-round pick on a quarterback in the upcoming draft. You want a guy that's been in the league already. Sam Darnold, if you're willing to give up, I think it'll take a second. I don't know if the Jets are going to get a first for him. They may be able to. I will. If I'm the Jets, I want a first. I think you can get a first for him, but you definitely can get a second. Sam Darnold can play football. Sam Darnold is not trash. He's on a trash team. But Michael P. Ryan was digging in your butthole early in this game. I was like, Buffalo, what are you doing right now? What is this? You didn't get the ball. I didn't think you got the ball nearly enough to Stephon Diggs. This was one of the first games in the Bills uniform where I thought he was underutilized. I don't know if he had 3 catches in this game. And I could be wrong. But I felt like there was like a wide receiver screen to him in the fourth quarter. And I'm like, was that his first catch of the game? I'm watching and I'm like, I don't think he's touched the ball yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe he had 2 for, 11 or 2 for 13. But I felt like that was his only catch of the game. Maybe he had 2 or 3 catches. But I just thought Cole Beasley went off. Obviously, he was the main attraction in this game with no John Brown. But this was a lot more closer than I thought it was going to be. But when you disrespect an opponent the way that you did by sitting so many guys prior to this game, and the Jets got a couple of guys healthy. They got Denzel Mims. It was good to see him out there. They got Sam Darnold back. Obviously, no Joe Flacco in this game. It's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, man. I ain't going to lie to you. Anyway, I digress. I'm getting real close. Even though some of those digresses were prompted by you guys, I'm getting real close to my 5.5. By the half point to get it to 6. I'm getting real close to my 5.5 limit, man. Anyway, I got another super chat here from Cloud. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Cloud. Greatly appreciate you. Cloud says the NFC West is tough. They probably will have 2 teams, maybe 3 in the playoffs. I don't see any way they get anything less than 2. The question is, do they get 3 or 4 from this division? I still don't know if the Rams are for real. San Francisco, they're interesting. They got a lot of injuries, though, man. They had some more injuries today. I don't know about San Francisco. Jury's still out on the Rams. But this is the thing. You want to start talking crazy when you look at this division. You're like, man, all 40 teams might get in. Then you got to say, okay, seriously, let's stop, take a second, and breathe for a minute. Because you look at the NFC South and you're like, I don't think Carolina's going anywhere. Let's stop the whole Carolina conversation. But there is two teams in that division. Or there are two teams in that division, excuse me. There's Tampa and there's New Orleans. New Orleans isn't going away. It may not be pretty and they may barely be winning games, but they're doing this with a depleted wide receiver core. They had no Michael Thomas and no E-Man Sand today, and they still beat Carolina. And the Panthers are feisty as hell. I watched that game. Feisty as shit. Gave him a run. 65-yard field goal came there, and I'm not exaggerating. This damn close to going through. It missed the crossbar by that much. Literally fell right there, 65 yards. If it hits the crossbar, it probably bounces through, and we go to overtime. So, they're going to probably make the postseason more likely than not. New Orleans. Tampa Bay is making the playoffs. And then you look at the NFC North. Chicago isn't going away. I know a lot of you want to shit on Chicago. Oh, man, they don't have a quarterback. Well, you keep there talking your shit about their no quarterback situation while the defense keeps playing ridiculous football and Nicholas Foles keeps finding ways to help them win games. They're not going away, and we know Green Bay isn't going anywhere. So, to me, that's two teams right there, two teams in the South. There's no way you're getting 4 in from the West. The only question is, can you sneak 3 from the West? When it's all said and done, I think it's 2-2-2-1. 2-2-2-1. So, they're definitely getting 2 in. Which 2? We'll see. Thank you for the super chat, Cloud. See if I got another one. Yep, got one more here. Lurts of Orthanic. Appreciate you for tripling up. Greatly appreciate you, Lurts of Orthanic, who writes, with Seattle humbled, Monday Night Football is huge for Rams tomorrow. Indeed, it is. Because, if I'm not mistaken, you're about to see a lot of these divisional games take place because the NFC West, they haven't been playing each other. So, I think San Francisco played Arizona in week 1. And the Rams played San Francisco in week number 6. And I believe the Cardinals just played the Seahawks, and that's it. I know the Rams for sure haven't played anybody but San Francisco because they played all NFC East teams, and in Buffalo the first 5 weeks. It was all NFC East teams in Buffalo sandwiched in between first 5 weeks of the season. Then they played San Francisco last week. Now they're playing the Bears. So this division really hasn't played a bunch of divisional games to this point. So you're about to get to the nitty gritty of the division where teams are starting to play one another, and this division is going to heat up, and they're going to start beating up on each other. So we're going to find out a lot about this division, and it's a massive game for the Rams. If the Rams are serious, they'll beat Chicago at home. I don't know if they are. I think more of Chicago than I do the Rams because I look at the Rams as a finesse team. Chicago is going to bloody them up, bruise them, batter them, and they don't want to play. They don't want to get into that. No, I don't want to give you my lunch money. They don't want to get into the kind of fight with Chicago. Chicago's going to make it a street fight. They want to make the game murky and ugly and nasty like they did against Tampa. Most teams that want to score, like Tampa scored 45 today. You're not scoring that. You're not doing that against Chicago. Tampa doesn't want to get into that kind of street fight. They can, but they don't want to. The Rams, I don't know if they're even capable of getting into that kind of street fight. Let's play this thing in the teens. You ready for that? Let's play this game in the teens. First one to 19 wins. You game for that, Rams? I don't know if they are. Tampa Bay wasn't. Most teams in the league aren't. Everybody wants to score 30. That's the in vogue thing to do. What happens when somebody smacks the shit out of you and says, bitch, you ain't scoring 20 today? What you gonna do then? A lot of teams ain't ready for that shit. A lot of teams don't know what to do when somebody steps up to you in the first quarter, smacks you in your shit and says, bitch, you ain't scoring 20 tonight. What you about? I don't know if the Rams are ready, because the last time I seen them in this exact spot against this exact team, and they got slapped in the face and said, you ain't scoring 20, they went in a corner and balled up in a fetal position like some hoes. So I don't really know. But I can tell you this, they not alone. It's not a lot of teams that can stand up when somebody smack you in your face in the first quarter and say, you're not scoring 20 tonight. What you trying to do? I've watched a lot of offensive teams that love to run up the score, get smacked in the mouth and not know what to do. Look at Green Bay last week. Perfect example. Tampa said, what you going to do? You scored 10 in the first quarter. Your ass ain't scoring 20 today. What you going to do? They bitched up. Most offensive teams don't want that smoke. And I don't think the Rams want any of that. And we're going to find out tomorrow. I could be wrong. And this Rams team could be different. And Aaron Donald could be like, I'm going to provide some smoke of my own. And I'm going to get after Nicholas Foles' ass. And I want to see what kind of pressure, what are you going to do under this kind of pressure I'm going to put on him? We'll see. Maybe that's the case. But I surmise that the Bears are going to go in there, smack them in their mouth, tell them they're not scoring 20 in the first quarter. And I think the Rams are going to bitch up. So we're going to find out. Should be fun. Because the Sean McVay I know wants to stick to the plan. The Bears aren't going to allow him to stick to the plan. That whole, I'm going to run it. I'm going to go play action fake. Oh, you think I'm going to run it? I'm going to go bootleg off of it. I'm going to bootleg you to death. We going 7-man protect, running 2-man routes. The Bears ain't going for that shit. They playing ball out there, man. They corners playing ball. They safeties playing ball. They front playing ball. They linebackers are active. We're going to see. It should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. I'm anxious to see. Got another super chat here from 61 Livy. This one, Livy says, hey, first of all, I appreciate you, Livy. Really do. Livy writes, says, hey, Diggs had 6 for 48, Allen over 300. I know Allen was over 300. Cole Beasley had like a $150 by his damn self. Had a TD call back on a BS call. I saw that as well. I didn't necessarily feel like the call was BS. They could have let it roll, but I understood it. They handled business, and Darnold looked awful in the second half with 4 total yards. Again, I watched the game. I saw this defense step up, make plays in the second half, as you mentioned. Remember, it was 10-0. You scored 18 unanswered, and it's family business. You get it however you can get it. I'm not knocking the hustle. A win's a win's a win in the National Football League. I've said this many a times. 3 weeks from now, nobody's going to say, oh, man, they barely beat the Jets 18-10. You know what we're going to say? That's another brick in the left-hand column. And at the end of the season, all we're going to do is count how many bricks you got in the left hand. Stack those bricks up, those dubs up like bricks. And at the end of the season, we just going to count your bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got 11 bricks. That's enough to get you a division crown and a home playoff game. Maybe 2, depending on how things shake out. So I'm not knocking the hustle. It was good to see your defense step up. But let me remind you, it was the Jets. So you're going to have to play much better than you did today. If you plan on beating anybody else in your division, you probably lose this game. Because 18 ain't beating nobody else in your division. I take that back. You beat New England with 18. They scored 18 points in the last 2 weeks combined. You beat New England with 18. Matter of fact, don't you got New England next? Is New England next? I believe New England is next. That should be fun. You should kick their ass. For all of those years, all 20 years of being in purgatory and Brady hell, you should whoop their ass next game. Just take all of that shit out on them in this one game. Don't spread it out over two. Beat the shit out of them next game. I would if I were you. Anyway, I digress. Thank you for the super chat, 61 Libby. Damn. I gotta be really close. I think I might be at 5 right now on the digress meter. I might be at 6. Shit. I haven't hit the over on my 5.5 in a while. So this is it's a rough one tonight, but blame the Pink Panther. That's what the Pink Panther does. It sneaks up on you, man. My man BE. Let's go! Yes. Let's go indeed. That was a big win, BE, man. Your boys found a way to get it done. Little Lion says, bro, what a game. Damn. Yes, it was. That was fun. I was hoping it didn't end in another tie. I hate the overtime rules with these 10-minute overtimes. 15 minutes, man. What the hell? Oh, you want to compromise? Let's go to 12. Not 10. 10 is trash. Anyway. Where we at? We got 4 minutes left. See how many of these comments we can run through in 4 minutes. Sanchez 11 says Isaiah Simmons bust. That was a big play by Isaiah Simmons. Let's see. Skim through some more of these. Cody _ says, what a effing game, Lou. Still hate the overtime rules, though. Laughing my ass off. I'm right there with you. I got Munson. Let's see. Says, best all-around game I've seen Hassan Reddick play. Dude was all over the field. Cards fought their asses off for 70 minutes. I agree. Hassan Reddick, there was a play where Hassan was in coverage one-on-one with a receiver, and he breaks on the football like he's a damn DB, and I was like, Hassan, is that you? He's like, yeah, man, I could do that too. Remember when I got drafted, I could rush, but I also could drop. So I'm like, but this ain't dropping. This is man-to-man coverage with you planting and driving on some shit. He's like, yeah, I could do that too. I said, well, hey, this is some pretty good shit that you're putting on tape here in a free agency year, okay? This man is playing for a paycheck next year, doing shit like that. A lot of people are intrigued. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. JP says, wow, what a game. But my God, that holding call cost them the game. Yeah, it did. That was a big penalty. Can't have it, but shit happens. Sully115 says, I was like, Russell Wilson, I love you. Don't win this game, please. Kyler Murray deserves to win. I was saying the same thing. I swear I was. I was like, bruh, like you are going to win the MVP this year. You deserve it. You're my guy. You're dangerous. Russell Wilson. But I'm like, I need this, bruh. I need this for winners and losers. Do me a favor, man. Do me a solid right here. Let me get this one, man. He's like, I got one more pick for you. I can't. Look, if Zane Gonzalez misses this one, I can't help you. I'm going to have to go and take this one. I said, bet. That's a deal. If he misses this one, I don't even want anything else from you. Do what you got to do. He said, all right, I got this last pick for you. Boop. I said, hey, Russ, you my guy, man. That's why I rocks with you. Because we here. He's like, hey, no problem. I'm not going to be able to do this for you again. I said, I'm not going to ask you to. I'm not going to ask you to. Normally, I'm on your side, hoping you pull it out late. Not this week. He says, I understand. I'm 5-0. I'm due for one. And what better way to go than have a family member do me on Sunday night on the road? I said, I concur. This is why you my guy. He says, I understand. Look, if Zane misses, though, I said, hey, you ain't got to say no more, Russ. He said, all right, we here, man. We here. Garrett Buckmaster says, do you think Seattle's defense is good enough to be a true contender? Sure. if their offense is going to score 34 points a game, they're going to have a lot of chances to win. And with Russ having the football in his hands late in ball games, they're going to win a lot more than they lose. You saw the stat that they showed. 14-2 since the start of last season in one-score games. Look, when your defense is funky, but you got Russell Wilson under center, you're going to win more of these games than you lose. That stat right there tells you all you need to know. Yeah, their defense isn't good, and they're going to be in some shootouts, but if Russ has the football late with a chance, we saw it 2 weeks ago against Minnesota on Sunday night, you get him the football late with a chance against Dallas, he did the same thing, he's going to gut you more likely than not. Tonight was the anomaly, okay? This was the outlier. More times than not, he's going to beat you in these situations. So, yeah, even with the defense, even without a pass rush, Russ is still going to be able to get you. As long as they stay relatively healthy offensively. Cody _ says, I think Rodgers and Russ are still front runners for MVP. How about you? Correct. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Let's see. JP says, Dangerous had a magnificent performance and his stinking ass defense blew it. Why they don't have an elite pass rusher is beyond me, because you can't pay everybody. You can't pay everybody. And they had Clowney, they couldn't afford him. You know, and pass rushers don't grow on trees. They're not cheap either. That's why they went so hard after Everson Griffin. I bet he wishes he would have signed in Seattle instead of Dallas now, but he didn't know Dallas was going to be this bad. But they could sure use some Everson Griffin. He'd be perfect for that team, too. They could use a guy off the edge like Everson Griffin. He's being wasted in Dallas right now. Ali's side, let's see. Let's see. Emperor Meach says, fun game, and Zane Gonzalez got saved because GE definitely had lemon booty on the missed 40-yarder. Who would have thought Russ would throw 3 interceptions, though? These teams always deliver good games. That they do. The last time they were on this stage, I think it was a tied game. I really believe. I remember that was the game that Dick Sherman tore his ACL and he walked over to the sideline to his teammates and told them on the sidelines, you could read his lips, I'm out for the season. I tore my ACL. I'm out for the season. You could read his lips on the sideline. It was a crazy game. You know, I think it was like 9-9 or something like that. 12-12, 9-9, some 6-6, some craziness. In Arizona, too, no less. Nick Roddy says, why the hell didn't Pete ice the kicker at the end? Good question. He had good rationale as to why he didn't do it. I wouldn't have done it either, because if he misses the kick, you got a timeout and 20 seconds left. You got a chance to get in the field goal range and kick a walk-off of your own. So if you use that timeout to ice him, now if he does miss, you're screwed because you got no timeouts and you only got 20 seconds, and you still need about a good 30 yards to get in the real field goal range. Without a timeout, that's pretty damn hard to do. So you wanted the whole field available to you to be able to get into a position where you could at least attempt a field goal, and the timeout was the only thing that was really going to allow you to do that. So that's why he didn't ice the kicker. You know what was really crazy, and we didn't talk about this, but Pete Carroll had one timeout remaining in the fourth quarter when that Tyler Lockett play was ruled incomplete. He was this close to not being able to challenge that, because initially it was ruled a touchdown. He wouldn't have had to challenge. You don't have to challenge scoring plays. However, they ruled it incomplete on the field, so he had to challenge. It was a fourth down. If he didn't have any timeouts, he wouldn't have been able to challenge. They would have gotten screwed. That's why it is imperative that you don't squander second half timeouts. They had one timeout left. Almost came back to bite him in the ass. Let's see. Tretoria says, kudos to Vance Joseph and the Cardinals defense laying it all on the line. Absolutely. Vance Joseph was masterful late stages of the fourth, but really where you saw Vance Joseph turn the dogs loose was in overtime. He just said, to hell with it. We got nothing to lose. Russ has been carving us up all night. If we sit back in coverage, he's going to eat us alive. We got to come after him. We got no other choice. Dre Kirkpatrick is in and out of the lineup. I ain't got that many bullets left. I just got to go. And he put all the bullets he had left, all the ammo he had left in his gun. He loaded it up, and he fired them janks off one at a time. Bow, bow. Third down after second down, blitz after blitz, pressure after pressure. He did a great job of mugging the A-gap, dropping them out. And then right when Russ was thinking that they weren't going to come out of the A-gap, he comes up the A-gap, and they get pressure on him. It was beautifully done. Well executed by Vance Joseph. Some well-timed blitzes. And for a defense that couldn't get stops all night, they picked a great time to start getting some stops. Sanchez 11 says, Cliff ran, I believe, 9 times down 2 scores with 6 minutes left in regulation, and it worked. Laughing my ass off. I told you the amount of dare I say, I can't think of the word that I'm trying to use to describe, but he was so comfortable in that situation. They did not panic. I was shocked. It almost was like they were too comfortable and they almost ran off too much time. That's why, again, if that field goal, if they don't have the leveraging penalty, they lose this game because they were too casual. That's the word I was looking for. It's almost as if they were casual, too casual, down, 10 points in that situation. You're down 34-24, and they're running the ball, and they're taking their time getting up to the line. They had one sequence when they ran the ball 3 times to get a first down. Ate up about 2 minutes off the clock doing that. And I'm just like, what are we doing right here, guys? Seriously, are you trying to win this game or what? And they had to settle for the field goal, and if not for leveraging, they gave them the 15-yard penalty, took the 3 points off the scoreboard, and 2 plays later, they're in the end zone. They probably lose this game. So that was a huge penalty there. Sanchez 11 says, Arizona has allowed the least quarterback hits on the year. 0 tonight, LOL. Probably because teams contain Rush Kyler. Gardick barely played, probably because Kennard was healthy, but still. That's the guy. Gardick. I think his name, Gardick. Where the hell was he at? And I get it. Devon Kennard was healthy. I don't give a shit. This guy has shown you he's got some innate ability to get to the quarterback. Give him a couple of rushes tonight. What do you got to lose? I don't know. It's just me. When I see a guy do the things he did the last 2 weeks against NFL tackles, I want to see more. Was that a fluke, or can you really do this? The Jets have some issues up front. The Cowboys definitely have issues up front. Maybe it was a fluke. Okay, let's find out tonight. Dwayne Brown is one of the better left tackles in football. Let me find out. What can you do? Let me see you. I didn't see the white dude out there with long hair tonight. I wanted to see him a couple of times. I was anxious. I really was looking forward to seeing him, to see if he was legit. Didn't get that chance tonight. Anyway, we hit our hour mark. Get the hell out of here, man. You guys have been a great audience, as you always are. I really appreciate y'all. I really do. And so, on that note, if you haven't already done so, what are you waiting on? Go ahead. Hit that subscribe button. And turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. So you don't have to worry about missing a live feed or when I go live for my podcast. We'll be live tomorrow breaking down all these games. It should be fun, man. I'm going to have fun tomorrow breaking down the games. I'm going to go ahead and watch a couple more before I turn it in tonight. Damn, it's already 1:26. Jesus, it's late. Anyway. Oh, yeah, it went to overtime. That's right. I was like, why is it so goddamn late? Game went to overtime. And it almost went all the way through overtime. Okay, never mind. I thank you guys for joining me. Man, was this a fun game. 2 NFC West heavyweights battling it out. This wasn't a regular championship fight. This was one of them old 1975 15-round championship fights that went the distance. And we went to the scorecards. You see what I did there? No, you didn't see what I did there, but don't worry. The Cardinals came out victorious, 37-34 in overtime. Give the Seahawks their first blemish on their record of the season now at 5-1. More importantly, they keep this division open, not just to themselves, but to everybody else. Seattle wanted to run away and hide. This was the opportunity to do it. Create a little bit of space, especially with the Rams having the Bears coming to town. They could easily lose, drop to 4-3, and they could have had a stranglehold on this division. Everybody else 4-3, you're 6-0. This division would have been really starting to create distance. Instead, they're a half game out of first place, are the Arizona Cardinals. And the best Seattle can do is a split this season. So you're right where you need to be. It's a big win for Seattle, or excuse me, Arizona. Massive win for the Cardinals. For Seattle, you were going to lose again. You weren't going 16-0. You're going to lose. It's probably going to be inside the division against the family. Nobody knows Russ better than the family does. Nobody knows Russ better than the family. So you know if anybody's going to pick him off 3 times or sack him 6 times in a game, which is what the Rams usually do, or pick him off like the Cardinals did in this game, it's going to be a family member. You know how the family do it. This was a good one. Cardinals come out on top, 37-34 in overtime. They're now 5-2 in the season. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are now 5-1. The Pittsburgh Steelers are now the only undefeated team left in the National Football League. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. I thank you guys for joining me. If it's not your man T, it's not, I repeat, not the best NFL coverage it could be. Until next time, you guys take care. I'll see you tomorrow for the LouieTeeNetwork podcast. We got a lot to discuss. Some good football games today. Look forward to chopping it up with you then. You guys have a great night. Take care.
LouieTeeNetwork.